All right, new company, new outfit. Overalls. We upgraded to overalls. Let's do it.
Idiot pride. Oh, pride. Hey, what the fuck you doing? I killed two people. Fucking dipshit motherfucker right there.
Welcome back to Trucking the Seven Seas. This is episode number 54, and in this episode, we're going to go over booking my first load at Landstar. So this episode is going to run a little bit different than normal. We are going to show how the load board works and how to find a load, or how I find a load anyway, and then we're going to book my first load at Landstar, and that's pretty much going to be the end of the video. This video is going to run a little long, and it was going to run even longer if I broke down a spreadsheet and showed the first week of pay. So as a result, just for time's sake, we're just going to go over the load board and me booking my first load. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I started this channel in order to show exactly what truck drivers make. I started as a company driver working for night transportation, then moved on to a lease operator working for night transportation, then moved on to an owner operator working for night transportation, and now we are a owner operator working for Landstar. I show all of the loads I take, what the revenue is, what the expenses are, and what my net cash flow is, and I compile all of this information and I put it into a spreadsheet that normally I share at the end of every video. However, in this video, we're not going to go over a spreadsheet for time's sake. That will be in the next episode. Last week we left off leaving night transportation, so I posted a video about my last week at night transportation. The following week we went to orientation at Landstar. It was 2 days of orientation, and it was pretty straightforward. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of, information to share. They were just basically showing, hey, here's how to book a load. Here's our policy on this. Here's our safety policy on that kind of thing. It was Monday and Tuesday, so it lasted 2 days. And if you've ever been to any sort of orientation for a new company, you've pretty much experienced that. Not a whole lot to talk about. I mean, I did mine in Phoenix, and it was 2 days, and that's about it. So we completed that. You just show up on Monday, you bring what they tell you to bring, just your paperwork and everything like that, and then you sit there for 2 days in a classroom, and you take a hazmat test. That was probably the only noteworthy thing. You have to take a hazmat test, and if you fail it, you get another chance, and then I think if you fail it again, you just fail at Landstar. I guess they just like don't hire you or something like that. But it was a pretty easy test. I passed it no problem, and I don't even have my endorsement yet. So that was about the only thing noteworthy at the orientation is you have to pass a hazmat test, but it's pretty easy. And then we completed that, and then we booked a load, or well, we got dispatched to go pick up a trailer in Salt Lake City. So we were in Phoenix, and they found a trailer in Salt Lake City. So they're pretty skimpy on the trailers, I guess. So they sent me up to Salt Lake City, and that's where I went and grabbed my trailer. I did get like 65 cents per mile to go get it, so I just bobtailed up there, and that's where that little incident there happened where Prime almost killed me. So he just came right over, and yeah, that was as close as I ever came to a head-on. That's why I normally don't like taking highways with one-lane roads, only if I have to. I like the divided highways. Anyways, yeah, that happened on the way up there, and that was about the only noteworthy thing. So we just bobtailed from Phoenix to Salt Lake City, grabbed a trailer, and then we started looking for a load. So we're gonna hop into the load board portion of this video right now. Okay, so this is Landstar Online. This is their main homepage. So search available loads. Obviously, that's where you search available loads. And then there's a bunch of other stuff here. I mean, there's 18 tiles, 17 tiles, something like that. And then there's a bunch more over here. I am not going to go over all this right now. It's just too much. So I'm just going to focus on the loads and how to find loads, basically. So in my opinion, there's two main tiles here: the search available loads, and then this capacity review, which they're currently developing. You can see beta right there. So we're going to go over both of those. First thing I'm going to go over is the capacity review. So let's do that. Oh, and before I click on stuff here, there's like information that I can't share online. So there would be like phone numbers and agents and stuff like that when I start clicking around. So if you see something and then it just sort of goes away and I skip over it, there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is because there was just too much information that I couldn't share. So yeah, when I start clicking stuff, it may not be entirely clear where I'm going, and that's intentional because I just had to block out information. So yeah, so we're going to click on this right now, and then going forward, you're not going to see all the information because there's phone numbers and stuff that I can't share. So, all right, so capacity review. Okay, so here's the capacity review, and it's like a place to do research on where to go get loads. It's still in development, so yeah, it's a little clunky right now, and you're going to see why here in a minute. I'm still looking at it, but it just shows basic stuff. All of this is going to be 0/ spinning because I haven't booked a load yet, so that's what's going on there. It shows like your compliance events, your logbook violations, stuff like this. Again, still in beta mode, so they're still working on it. So you can search available loads here, but the other load board search does the exact same thing. In my opinion, it does it a little bit better. So I'm not going to use this, but you could search loads here, right here as well. But we're not going to do that because I don't like the way it displays after you search it. It does it a little bit differently. Okay. And then just some other information, your escrow. There are some favorite destinations. I think they just kind of sent. I don't know what that's about right now because I don't have any destinations. So there's just some loads, whatever. Okay, and then these are just save searches that I did on the other load search. They'll pop up here as well, but I'm not going to use the search on this one right here, so that's not relevant. And then trends and stuff like that. So it'll show you trends, and this is, in my opinion, this is why it's important and useful. So you can see trends for like the West. So right now the West is averaging, I don't know, 220 a mile, something like that. Yeah, right there. 225 a mile. So that'd be the West Coast. And then if you go to like New England, it's averaging 216. It's all about $2. The Midwest probably best, I'm guessing. 223. So that it'll show that right there, and that's useful information. It's cycled by van, and then it shows hot markets. And in my opinion, this is the most important thing, and this is where 99% of people are going to go. And it'll show hot markets like right here. So there's 2,800 loads in Los Angeles, 2,300 loads in Chicago, 2,100 loads in Houston, and it'll show all the good areas of the country. So that's available loads, and then it'll show the rate per mile as well, so you can cycle it by rate per mile. Washington, D.C., 689. This isn't too relevant, though, because there's only 7 loads. I guess New York City is the best of all, but you have to go to New York City. Central Massachusetts, also good. Stuff like that. So to show that in like a list form, and the list form is useful, but in my opinion, this should be right here. So if you click on this right here, I'm going to open it in a new tab. So then if you click on that, it'll show this information, either available loads or rate per mile, in map form. So to show like a heat map. And call me crazy, I think this is like the most useful thing that is on this whole website. But for some reason, it's just like a little dot right there. Like you have to know where to find this. And this should be like boom, right here as soon as you come on the page. But I don't know, it should be like right in front of you. But anyways, that's how you find it. Again, like the most useful thing you could possibly want. So this, and you can again sort it by rate per mile or load availability. So if we're on load availability, again, same information as that previous page. Southern California, the most loads available, and then San Antonio, good. Chicago, 2,300, and then the darker the color, the more loads available. So Texas is good, SoCal's good, the Midwest is good, the South is okay, pretty good as well. Yeah, so there it is. So there's load availability, and you can also cycle it by rate per mile. So there's rate per mile. Again, same trends. San Antonio looks good, Los Angeles is good, and the entire Midwest is looking real good right now. So that's very useful. And I'm not gonna like slave over if I'm a little outside. So if I go to like East St. Louis, that's fine compared to Illinois, which is a little bit better. But basically, when I'm planning, as I'm doing right now, I would want to go to the Midwest, and then from the Midwest, once I get there, I'd probably want to go to Texas, and then Texas maybe back to the Midwest and do something like that. That would be my preferred route planning. And for me, I would just like glance at this and be like, all right, I want to go to the Midwest and then hop from maybe Midwest to Texas. And if I had my ducks in a row, I could also maybe go to SoCal if I wanted as well. And that's basically the extent of what my planning would be. Like, okay, I'm going to try to get to the Midwest. But this is a very useful map, and in my opinion, this should be like front and center when you go to that capacity preview page. And I'm going to reference this quite often, I think, going forward, because it's just a very useful map. But anyways, there's that. So that's my planning basically as it stands right now. I'm trying to get to the Midwest or potentially Texas. So I'm currently in Salt Lake, which if you look at Salt Lake, yeah, the average load in Salt Lake City is $1.73 per mile, which is trash. That's complete trash. But you know, that's where I am right now. I probably shouldn't have grabbed this trailer, but too late. I'm already here. So $1.73 per mile. So beggars can't be choosers, and I'm pretty much going to pick whatever gets me out of this market and try to get over here and stay there for a while until I get my pre-pass and all that good stuff. So that's my planning. And now we're going to go to the load board and start searching loads going to that area. All right, going back to Landstar Online. Once you're in Landstar Online, search load availability. Again, I could have done it with the capacity preview thing down here, but again, it's still in beta form, and it just doesn't show information as good as the old one, so we're going to use the old one for right now. Okay, so I'm going to briefly go over this stuff right here. So I have a couple saved searches, so no hazmat all, so any non-hazmat load going anywhere. No hazmat long, any hazmat load that's kind of long, and then no hazmat short, so like a short load, local load with no hazmat. I don't want a whole hazmat right now because I don't have a license right now for it. I got to get that. But yeah, so just no hazmat is the only thing I'm really going for. We're currently in Salt Lake City, and you can type in whatever you want here, you know, Texas or whatever. And then restrict results, so it's currently the 19th. I definitely want to pick up a load today. So, and you can, this is a range, so the pickup start date and pickup end date. If I wanted to pick up a load maybe tomorrow as well, and if I was okay with that, I could also go tomorrow, which okay, I'll go tomorrow as well. We'll do that. You know, I could wait, I suppose. But it's going to be Saturday, so there probably isn't going to be anything tomorrow anyway, so whatever. But yeah, so we got that. And then there's a bunch of other things. So destination, if I wanted to pick a destination, like I was trying to get home, I could type in Phoenix, Arizona, and then increase the radius to whatever. Oh, and this is radius. So Salt Lake City is a very long city, if you didn't know. Like, it just runs super long. So I did a radius of 100 miles. So I'm going to have to deadhead 100 miles, potentially, to grab a load, but it shouldn't be that long. I just put that. Rate per mile 2, I want at least $2 per mile. You know, let's just delete that, just so we get more results. And then min miles, 1,000. It's good with me. Max results. So if you click this load button here and click the load count, it'll come up with a bunch of loads. So that's a load count right there. And sometimes if you do a search, like if I were to do a search in Chicago, Illinois, I would get like 1,000 results with this right here. So if you wanted to know how many loads were available with that criteria, you could just hit load count without actually searching the load, and it'll give you the load count. So that's what, you know, that's what's with that. I'm gonna maybe increase this to $1.70. See what it does there. And we're down to 31 results. That's fine. You could play around with it, and if I were to restrict this, let's do something crazy like 4,000 miles and do a load count 0, right? Because there's no load going 4,000 miles. So that's what that. So, but we're gonna stick to 1,000, obviously. Go back to load count. That gives 31 results. And then if you scroll down, all right, I got to block out some information here. So that's kind of my personal information. So I'm not going to share that. So right there, that's what that block out is. I'm just blocking information. And then, okay, going forward, yeah, I want van. This is for like, I think it's for like oversized loads and stuff like that. This is like, I don't want to have to collect from the customer. So I guess some loads, like, you would have to collect from the customer yourself or something like that. I'm not sure. They just said to click that off, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to click that off. No hazmat, no team. There you go. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. Just like basically a non-hazmat load that's over 1,000 miles. So that way it gets me through the weekend. That's what I'm looking for right now. And picking up today or tomorrow. So that's my criteria. Again, I'm just trying to get out of Salt Lake City. These are my goals. Get out of Salt Lake City and get through the weekend and avoid California, because my, you know, I'm on paper logs. I don't have a pre-pass. I don't have plates, so I don't want to go to California right now. So that's basically it. Those three criteria: get out of Salt Lake, get through the weekend, and avoid California / probably Oregon and Washington as well, because after Oregon and Washington, I'd probably end up getting a load. I'd have to take a load to California probably. So yeah, I don't want to do that. So let me wipe this off. Yeah, my screen was dirty. Whoops. Oh well, too late. All right, so let's search that, and there should be 31 loads available. So let's go ahead, hit search, and probably gonna have to block some stuff out here. Yeah. Yeah, so right over here, kind of down there, there's a phone number, so I'm gonna block that out. So, it's over this way. I don't know how I'm gonna block it out yet. I might just kind of cover it. But yeah, so there's information there that I don't want to reveal, and you're gonna see some information just blocked and deal with it. Okay, so let's just cycle by rate per mile. Okay, so the best load on this, as far as rate per mile, is going to Washington. I don't want that. Florida, I don't want that. For those of you who don't know, if you go into Florida, it's very difficult to get out of Florida. There's a bunch of retirees and not much industry in Florida. So you can get a load going into Florida, but to get out of Florida, you're pretty much deadheading. Like, you might have to deadhead to like Atlanta or something like that. So I don't want to do that, and I'm definitely not willing to take that for $2.08 per mile. Pennsylvania, this load, I've already done the search, by the way, and this load has some potential. So I'll show you the map here in a second, but this load has some potential. I might end up taking that load. Another one going to York, Pennsylvania. That one ain't too bad either. Could take that. Florida, don't want it. Pennsylvania, I think all of these, by the way, are the same load. So I think that's the same load. That and that are the same load. And yeah, a lot of these are the same load. And then, oh, we got one going to Texas. Ooh, I might actually grab this one. So there's this one going to Texas, so Salt Lake City to Texas. They're 1,200 miles. Doesn't pay well at all, but it's going to Texas, so that's not bad. Might end up taking that, actually. Yeah, because anyway, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just go over all the results here. All right, so then there's some short loads here. Okay, so this one's interesting. So it's going from Utah, and then it looks like it goes. Let's click on it. So if you go over here and you click details, open a new tab, it'll give you the details. This one has stops. So yeah, this one's going from Bountiful, Texas, and then you unload in Clackamas, and then you load up again in Portland, and then you come back to Salt Lake City. So that would actually be not too bad if I was okay going to Oregon, which I'm not right now. But I might actually, if I wanted to go to Oregon yeah, I might actually do that. So this one just has stops. So pick it up in Bountiful, drop it off in Clackamas, pick up in Oregon or in Portland, and come back to Salt Lake. That's not too bad. That would get me through the weekend, I suppose. But again, I'm not going to Oregon right now, so I'm not going to pick that one. But and I guess I should run this down. This is just all the information. Again, a lot of this I have to block out, guys. So just bear with me. I'm probably going to end up blocking out most of this up here, because over here there's like phone numbers and whatnot. Yeah, this should be fine. So this one pays $2,800. I guess I need to go over how these loads pay. So this is the total amount it pays, and it includes the fuel surcharge. So sometimes they'll break it down. So accessorials is fuel surcharge. So that's what that is. And this agent didn't break it down. So in order to break this down, what you'd have to do, let me pull up a calculator. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make a calculator on the spreadsheet so I can more clearly show how this breaks down. So we're going to just do a snap. I'm just going to do like a cutoff here, and we're going to go to the spreadsheet. I'm going to make a calculator on the spreadsheet to show you exactly how to do this instead of just pulling out a calculator. So let's do the calculator right now. All right, so this is just a simple calculator. I just busted it out real quick, not super complex here. So just to explain things, this is for the Lisbon, Iowa load. And just to briefly go over it. So the line haul for the Lisbon load is $2,150. So Landstar takes 65% of the cut minus the fuel surcharge. So of this $2,150, this $2,150 includes a fuel surcharge in it. So you have to back out the fuel surcharge and then minus Landstar's 65% cut. Okay? So the fuel surcharge right now is about 50 cents per mile. So what you do first is you multiply the total mileage by 50 cents. And that is going to be what I'm going to get as a fuel surcharge, right? So this load is 1,189 miles times 50 cents equals $594. And you can see the calculation right there. It's just 1189 times 50 cents. So that is what I'm going to get paid, for the fuel surcharge. It's $594. So this line haul right here includes this $594. But the fuel surcharge is not subject to the 65% cut. So I'll say that again. This fuel surcharge is not subject to the 65% cut. So you have to back out the fuel surcharge from the entire line haul. You have to back out the fuel surcharge from the entire line haul. So what you do is you just take $21.50 and you minus whatever you're going to get for the fuel surcharge. In this instance, I'm getting $594. And that's what's right here. So this is just line haul minus fuel surcharge. That's all that is, okay? So I backed out the fuel surcharge, and then that's what I got, right? 21.50 minus 594 equals 15,155.50. Yeah, you get the number there, okay? Now this number is subject to the 65% cut. So the fuel surcharge is not, but this number is, okay? So since this number is subject to the 65%, what you do is you take, well, this number right here, and you multiply it by 65%. Pretty easy. And the number you would get is $1,011. So you can click on it, you can see the calculation. Again, very easy. 1555 times 65% equals $1,011. And that is what you're going to get for the line haul. So then what you do is you add the fuel surcharge and the line haul pay after the 65% cut. So you take the fuel surcharge, which was not subject to the 65%, and you add it to the line haul pay. And when you do that, it's just 1,011 plus 594. There's the calculation right there. Very simple. You get $1,600. So that is the total pay I will get from Landstar for this load, is $1,600. Now, next calculation, also very easily. It's just, you just take the $1,600 and you divide it by the mileage. And for this one, it comes out to a whole $1.35 per mile. I can't wait to see the comments on that. Okay, so I'm assuming I gave you a pretty good breakdown of how all of this works in a more coherent manner. I don't know what that looks like yet because I haven't actually done it. I'm kind of doing this on the fly. But yeah, there's how the line haul and revenue and all that is broken down. So I don't know what this comes out to. I'm guessing my pay is going to be around $18 to $1,900, I would guess. I haven't done math, but yeah. So anyways, so overall it pays $1.83 per mile, which is not good at all. I would not take this load. Actually, looking at the rate per mile, I wouldn't take this load even if I wanted to go to Portland. But yeah, so pickup and delivery are right there. Yeah, that's about it. And it'll give a bunch of information, whether it's teams, I clicked off that, hazmat, all that good stuff. There's the weight, 29,000 pounds. And yeah, there you go. So there is one load, and that's just a quick breakdown of how the loads work. And let's go back to the search board and look at what else we got here. Okay, so we're right here. Got a load going to Iowa. That's not too bad. I mean, again, I'm just trying to get out of Salt Lake City, and if I have to take a crap load, I'm gonna have to take a crap load. I'm gonna have to take an ugly load to get out of here. There's no two ways about it. So I might end up taking something like this at $1.80 per mile, and my pay on something like that, my take-home pay on something like that is gonna be like 40 or 50 cents per mile. So I'm gonna have to do it, and I don't have a choice here. Okay, so got that. Load going to Illinois, which is where I want to go. There are stops. I'm not too interested in doing stops over the weekend, so I could have probably just canceled this out. Load going to Georgia. Another load going to Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, Arkansas, North Carolina, Michigan, blah, 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 blah. But all in all, it looks like I'm probably going to have to take a load for about $1.80 per mile just to get out of here. And looking at it, I'm feeling like going to Texas. So this Salt Lake City to Texas here looks 25,000 pounds. Let's look at this one. I haven't planned this out, so you're seeing it on the fly. So let's look at this one. Okay. All right. So $2,300, $1.86 per mile. Picks up today, anytime, and delivers Monday. Yeah, Monday, anytime during the day. Okay. 234 loads at the destination. Oh, I should explain this. This is important. So there's 234 loads around Dallas, Texas, which is pretty good. There's 234 loads around Dallas, Texas that meet the original search criteria. One thing I wish they would do, I wish I could change the search criteria like right here, but I can't. So around Dallas, Texas, what I put 100-mile radius and no hazmat and all that stuff. So given the original search criteria, 234 loads meet that search criteria. And if I wanted to search those, which I will do here in a second, I definitely could. But that's what that is. Very important. If you see a 0 here, or like a 2, or like a 1, or even like maybe like a 5, you probably don't want to go to that area. But 234 loads at the destination is pretty good, which is why I'd be willing to accept potentially $1.86 per mile on this load. So that's what's going on there, and it gets me out of Salt Lake. So yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, guys. Picks up today, anytime. Drops Monday, anytime. 1,200 miles. That will get me mostly through the weekend. Not completely. I mean, I'll probably have it there by, I guess, Sunday. But I need to reset anyway, so that's probably fine. So I'd probably drive Friday, drive Saturday, pretty much be there on Sunday, reset Sunday, and then deliver it on Monday with a full clock. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, to be honest. Just looking at this load, it's very flexible. Now there will be like comments down here, and yeah. So right now I can tell you there's information here that I can't share with you. It's just phone numbers and stuff like that. So yeah, there'll be comments here, but it might be like, I'm not sure, like 1 drop 2 hooks, or might drop and hook, or cannot be laid, something like that. I don't know. Still figuring out. But if the agent wants to put comments, that's what that is right there. There's a stop map. There are no stops on this. Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah. Hey, that's real good, actually, there. Yeah, so there's the load right there. If you didn't know, there's actually not a road going directly from Salt Lake to Texas, if you're unaware. Yeah, there's no road that's that straight, unfortunately. So it just shows you like a straight line where you're going. So obviously I guess I would go the 80 to the 25, I would guess, probably. Or maybe 80 to the 25 to the, what is that, the 70? Yeah, the 70. And then maybe go down. I don't know. I might cut through. Yeah, I guess I would end up cutting through the Midwest here around some road. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Still haven't planned it out yet. But anyways, so there's the map. There's where it starts. There's where it goes. If you click on it, it should not give you information. Never mind. I'm wrong. And there's the map of it. And just looking at this, now let's do a load search at this destination. So if you click load search at destination, and then there's all of these loads there. Yeah, so that's that. So you can search loads at this destination. I'm not too worried. There's one going to Stockton, which if my plates get to, if my plates are in Tucson, I might actually be willing to take it to Stockton, because on the way I could pick up my plates and my pre-pass and then do that. One going to Reno. So, these are all the loads in Dallas, Texas that meet my original criteria when I get there. So there's 200 loads. So that's plenty of loads. I could definitely find something. And yeah, so we're looking pretty good. And one thing I didn't show yet is the map. So this is, hold on, actually, let me go back here. Oh wait, yeah, okay, so there's that load. So this is the original search from Salt Lake City. So we're back in Salt Lake City. And if I click map, it'll show me all of the loads that meet my criteria and where they go. And luckily, it's going basically to where I want to go. So there's one going to Dallas, one going to Houston, some going to like Pennsylvania. I don't want to go to the East Coast right now if I can avoid it. So this Dallas load, I mean, I'm just looking at it, and I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video here shortly and try to book this Dallas load. Let me look at it again. I probably had to block that out just now because there's information on there that I'm not going to share again. And on the map, if you go over to the side here, it'll show all of the loads, and then there's information right here. I'm actually not going to scroll down anymore because I know there's information on there, there's phone numbers on there. So, but it'll show just the information right there. It's pretty straightforward, guys. But I know there's a phone number if I scroll down, so I'm not going to scroll down. But yeah, it's right. It's just right like there. Okay, so there's that. So I could go to Dallas, or I could go to Houston. Oh, let me scroll down. Maybe can I get away with it? Yeah, I can get away with it. So now this Houston load actually is kind of just as good almost. So I'd be in Houston, which I already know there's similar loads there. Same basic criteria, right? It's just picking up today, dropping Monday, whenever. The only downside to this one is I couldn't actually get a reset in because 1,400 miles versus, crap. Okay, well, I'm blocking information right now. I know I am. So it's 1,400 miles versus 1,200 miles, and that extra 200 miles would actually make it a little awkward for me to try to get a reset in, because I know right now, yeah, because I can get about 600 miles. It'll be the open road. per day. So 600, probably stop, I don't know, middle of nowhere, Kansas, I would guess. And then pretty much be there. I'd probably stop just outside of it, maybe in like Oklahoma City or something like that, or maybe around here, Choctaw Nation, stop at Indian Reservation. And then, just wake up on Monday, and I could deliver it whenever on Monday, and then I could just, drive for a few hours or whatever if I need to, and get to Dallas, Texas. And then Sunday I would just reset. So looking at this, yeah, I think this Dallas, Texas load is my best bet. It pays badly, but I'm in a bad market, and there's nothing I could do about it, and I need to book a load for this weekend, and I don't have a pre-pass, and I don't have plates, and I'm on paper logs. So going through Denver over the weekend is okay. And then, I'll be traveling through the weekend, and then I'll be in Texas, who are a lot more relaxed. I know Oklahoma, they're kind of dicks in Oklahoma, so I don't know, I might run into problems there. Maybe I'll go around Oklahoma just to avoid it. Yeah, I might just go around Oklahoma just to avoid that. I don't know. I haven't routed it out yet. But don't be surprised if I go a little bit out of my way to avoid Oklahoma, because the DOT in Oklahoma, dicks. Complete dicks. So I'm probably going to avoid them. So, just screw it. Anyways, yeah, $1.86 per mile. Let's do some math on that. Okay, so I should have already explained how the fuel surcharge works, so I'm just going to bust it out right here. So 1,200, I'm just going to round, times 0.5 roughly equals $600. 2,300 minus 600 equals that number, times 0.65 equals that number, plus 600, the original 600 equals that number, divided by 1,200 equals $1.42 per mile. So my take home will be $1.42 per mile, which is complete shit. But I don't have much of a choice here. Beggars can't be choosers. And yeah. All right, let's call up the number and try to book my first load. So I'm not going to record this as far as recording it on my phone. I will record me talking to him, but I'm not going to record his voice because A, Landstar would not be okay with that, and B, I think it's actually illegal in some states to do that. So you'll hear my voice and I'm talking to him, but I'm not going to record his voice for those reasons. So yeah, sorry, not doing it. Hi, this is Tim with Trucking the Seven Seas. How are you? Hey, calling about your load going from Salt Lake City to Dallas, Texas. Today. Delivers Monday. Okay, they already covered it. Okay, well, thank you anyway. Yeah, okay, so that load was already covered. Yeah, load was already covered. So let's try the Houston load now, because I don't really have any other options. Another thing I should mention, when I was in orientation, I had to open the windows, by the way, so if you hear some background noise, it's getting a little warm in here. They said there was no negotiating at Landstar, so, which I really thought there was. Yeah, so that's interesting. I guess I'll try it a little bit anyway. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be like, hey, is $1.86 the best you can do, and just see what he says. But they made very clear that negotiating wasn't a thing with the agents at Landstar. So I guess I'm just gonna take it if I can get it. I'll learn more about that, but again, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. And as I'm looking at it, the load going to Houston is actually the same guy I just called, so we're just gonna call him right back and see if that Houston load's available. Okay, so he didn't answer. I don't know why. I guess I'll call him back, but in the meantime, you're looking at the screen right here, there's also a load going to Fort Smith, Arkansas. Same criteria, basically. Pick up today, deliver whenever, tomorrow. And same idea, rate per mile is pretty shit, but let's try this number. Hi, this is Tim with Trucking the Seven Seas. I'm calling about your load going from Salt Lake City, Utah to Fort Smith, Arkansas. Is that still available? Today. He's gonna give me a call back, so we're just waiting. If that one falls through, which I don't know if it's gonna go, let's see. I actually probably, yeah. I mean, that one was only 7,000 pounds. I didn't catch it. He's listing it as 1,200 miles, but when I look at it on Google Maps, it's 1,300, And I'm probably going to avoid Oklahoma, so I'd probably like go to Kansas and then go straight down. So it might be closer to like 1,400 for me, which is kind of screwed up. But yeah, again, I don't have many options here. I don't even know what I don't even know if I can negotiate or not. They said very clearly you could not negotiate these loads, so I don't know. I'm gonna try, but yeah. So we're just waiting at this point, and there is another load up here in Lisbon, Iowa. Frankly, for a better rate, it's 45,000 pounds. Same criteria, really. That would get me closer to Illinois. Yeah, if I were to go to Iowa, then from Iowa, I could definitely get something a little better. Let's try that. Let's call that number. Hi, this is Tim with Trucking the Seven Seas, calling about your load going from Salt Lake City to Lisbon, Iowa. Okay, I was calling about the one that was paying $21.50. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. Okay. 25. So delivers Iowa. Okay, yeah, I could definitely do that. Is 21.50 the best you got? Okay. Let me call you back in like 5 minutes, okay? All right. Thanks, sir. All right. So I don't think there is negotiating. So I mean, he actually said that on the load board he had it for $19.50. So there's a different price for load board, like the spot market, and then what we get. Mine was 200 higher. Again, I think I'm just gonna grab that. Looking at this Arkansas load, and then looking at this load, this one's heavier, but it pays a little better, and I don't have to wait for the guy. Call me back, and I can probably go get it right now and get started, and straight across the road, and I don't have to go to Oklahoma, which they're dicks. Yeah, so drive for 2 days, stop in Davenport. Is that close to Davenport? Hell yeah. I'll stop at the world's largest truck stop. It's a little bit out of my way. Barely. Yeah, reset at the world's largest truck stop. Straight across, ready now. Takes me through the weekend, reset. Shouldn't have to worry about getting inspected. Gets me out of here into a much better market. All right, let's go to Iowa. Hey, this is Tim with Landstar. Just called you a couple minutes ago about the Lisbon load. Yeah, let's. I'll take it for you. I can do that. So I'm going to pick up my trailer right now. Let me pull it up for you right now. Yeah. Let me level with you. This is actually my first load with Landstar. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So just work with me here. Yeah. So the trailer number is 698-399. And I'll pick it up here in like the next 30 minutes or something like that. Sounds good, Tony. Thanks, man. All right, bye-bye. All right, so we're gonna go to Lisbon, Iowa. Picks up today, drops on Monday, so we'll drive for basically 2 days, stop Saturday, reset Sunday, drop it Monday, and then go wherever from there. We'll be in a much better market, so I should get a much better rate. It doesn't look like there is negotiation at Landstar, which was a huge surprise, and it still continues to be a surprise, but whatever. I mean, I guess that makes it easier to book a load. So we're gonna go get the trailer, hook up to the trailer, do all that stuff, go to the load. It's a live load, so we're gonna live load it, and then start driving to Iowa, and then probably stop at the world's largest truck stop for a very nice reset, actually. So let's do it. Okay, yeah, so there is me booking my first load from Salt Lake City to Lisbon, Iowa. So I can tell you I've already delivered it. It went pretty smoothly. Just grabbed it, dropped it in Lisbon, Iowa. I didn't get a reset in at the world's largest truck stop, though. I just didn't make it. I stopped at a place called Waspy's Truck Stop in Audubon, something like that, Iowa, which is about 150 miles outside of Lisbon. A nice little truck stop there. They had free showers and everything. They had this giant cow. It was like a giant steel cow, bull, whatever you want to call it. So I took a picture of it. Had a nice little reset there. Nice little town. But yeah, so we did that, and then we delivered the load in Lisbon, Iowa, and that was about it for the week. So this video is already running pretty long, so not going to go over a spreadsheet. And next episode, I don't even know if I'm going to go over a spreadsheet then either, because that Lisbon load was on, like, I did it this week's, but I missed the pay period. So like I submitted the paperwork the day after the pay period, so I may not even have a paycheck this week. I'm not 100% sure, so I'll find out in a few days. But as I'm filming this right now, there's a good chance I don't even have a paycheck this week, so I'll have to show the spreadsheet next week. I haven't made it yet, so I can't share it with you yet. But when all that happens, when I get paid and I've made the spreadsheet, I'll post another video. And yeah, I'll also show the loads I booked and how I booked them, I guess. But yeah, but I think that'll do it for this episode. I just wanted to show my first load and booking my first load, and just give a brief update, basically. Well, sort of brief update on first week at Landstar and orientation. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end the video right now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.